Hey everybody, it is week 20 of the year, which means we are up to writing prompt number 20. I am in front of this immensely large birthday sign for my son. His birthday was last Saturday, and since we have such ridiculous decorations, I like to give them at least a week of play every year. So that'll come down tomorrow. But today's writing prompt is all about, well, inspired by coffee, using my husband's mug today, and John Gillard's book, Coffee Break Writing. I really do love this book, and I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, and I did say we would come back to it. And then I got a lovely gift in the mail this week of a gift card to get myself some coffee. And I was like, you know what? I'm just coffee minded. Let's do some coffee break writing. So we're going to use a prompt in here to actually get us to our weekly writing prompt. Because this book, different from the other Gillard book that we used for the On Fire prompt earlier this year, this one is filled with more of like writing exercises. It really is what it says, like coffee break writing. Like if you have 15 to 20 minutes and you just want to sit down and do a writing exercise, maybe not necessarily come out with like a full story, but you still want to use all of those muscles in your mind to keep your creative juices flowing. This is really the book for you. I love this book. I picked it up in my local Barnes & Noble. Happened to see it there. I know that I've seen, and I'm tempted, I'm probably going to get it soon, that he also has Coffee Break Sketching or Sketch, something like that. And I believe it's also John Gillard's book, because I believe he's a writer and a graphic artist. Anyway, I know he's on Instagram. You can follow him there. But I do love this book. And the exercise that I want to do with us today is actually exercise number 2. And as you can see, I've done it in my book a couple of times. And I love the layout of this book. All the pages have a workspace that you can use. And, you have these cute little like coffee cups up here. But it's a great sort of book to just sort of stuff in your bag and have with you as you go out and about, once you can do that again. And a lot of places in the country can do that starting now. So this one is called Personification. I'm just going to read for you the blurb here. It says, giving human attributes to everyday objects can make them really leap off the page. You can use this impact to create both fun and meaningful descriptions. Follow the steps below to create this personification of objects. So we're going to create the personification of objects. That's kind of like our step 1 this week, using this. And then I'm going to give you my own prompt jumping off of there. So here's the step-by-step for the personification of objects. The first thing that you're going to do, and John has boxes here. I'm going to be using index cards since I've already used my boxes. You can use like a regular piece of paper, whatever it is. But for the first step, first box or my first index card, make a list of adjectives that can describe a person. So we're looking for adjectives that describe people, and the example here is obnoxious. So that's a very human adjective. So I want you to shoot right now to write 10 human adjectives. If you can't get 10, if you can get 5 or 6, whatever it is, just get a nice list going. And this is one of those exercises, I probably should have said this up on the top, where I'd like you to pause and do that right now before you hear your next step. So we're going to write down a list of human adjectives. Okay, it's time for step 2. Once you have your list of human adjectives, I want you to sort of put that to the side. And now you're going to create a second list and the second list. And the second step is this. In the second box or on your second list, make a list of random objects and things. For example, ice cream, like anything. But whatever number of adjectives that you had, try to reach for at least that. So if you only got 5 or 6 objects, make sure you have 5 or 6 adjectives. Make sure you have at least 5 or 6 objects. But if you made it to 10, then you want at least 10 objects. Just make sure you have at least that many. So just list, I need 10. I did 10 adjectives, I need 10 objects. This is random. Okay, simple enough, especially if you have much chaos sitting around you like I do. You just look up and you've got 10 objects in front of you. The third step now is to take what you've got. So it says in the final box or your final list now, pair these adjectives and nouns together. So for example, a bowl of obnoxious ice cream. So I just always think of it as like obnoxious ice cream is what I would pair it as. So what I want you to do right now is to take your list of human adjectives and match up your adjectives with your objects. And maybe that's 10 for 10. So you're going to have a new list of these pairings. And it doesn't have to be in the random order that you wrote them, although that could be an interesting exercise. I like to sit with the two lists and see like what matches up. So pause for a minute and get those paired together. And I'm going to do the same with my lists here. Okay, so once you finish that third step and you have the pairings of the human adjectives and the random objects, you should have a pretty unique list of things. Just to read some of mine, I have the impatient egg, the shy hoodie, the hungry vase, the thoughtful laptop, the nosy mug, so on and so forth. Every single time I do this exercise, and that is the end of the exercise from the coffee break writing, it is literally just to take these pairings and start to think about different ways we can describe random objects. And in and of itself, that is an amazing exercise and something to bring to our writing. But every single time I come up with one of these lists, I am struck by the fact that some of them tend to sound like titles to me. So your writing prompt this week is to take one of these pairings that you created of the human adjective and a random object and use it as a title for a short story of your creation. I've got the hungry vase, feels like I might have something there, but every time there's at least one. So, yeah, good luck. And if it doesn't like spring out to you right away, give it a minute, walk away from your list, come back to it and see. Sometimes these lists just sort of trigger images or something. And of course, like you don't have to be literal. I have the drunk castle here, and I'm thinking that could be a name for like a pub or something that my story could be about. So, yeah, that's where walking away from the list can sometimes be helpful. No word count, nothing. It is sort of just like taking a title and running with it. But I'm hoping that you enjoyed the exercise. Again, all coming out of the book, Coffee Break Writing by John Gillard. I hope I'm saying his name right. I've been saying Gillard all this time. And that is it. This week on the Stop Writing Alone podcast, this past Thursday, I interviewed 5 of the writers who shared their month of April with me. We created the Happy Campers Club, and we just talked about what our experience was like to be together during the month of April and how the community helped each of us reach our individual writing goals. I am so grateful to all these people, and I enjoyed sharing that chat with them, with you guys, with the listeners, because I feel blessed to say that I chat with these ladies all the time now. The only other new sort of thing in Stop Writing Alone world is that last night, Thursday night, I went live on the Instagram channel, the Stop Writing Alone, at Stop Writing Alone on Instagram, and inadvertently started an IGTV channel for Stop Writing Alone. My effort last night was to start a live write-in on Instagram, and I am going to be doing those more often, and I'm also going to see if there's a way that I can share these videos in IGTV. So if you have IGTV, go find at Stop Writing Alone because we're there now. Otherwise, just keep checking out the Stop Writing Alone Instagram channel because I will be popping up live there from time to time to do write-ins, writing prompts, and just hanging out with you guys in a live way rather than just in this recording. Don't forget, when you write your story this week, if you share it anywhere online, please do us a favor and come on back to this video and share the link in the comments below so we can read your story and show others what came of this project. But I'd love to hear how this goes for you. So let me know in the comments if you've done this before, if you have John's books, if this really brings something to bear for you. We had a great success story from our Swap 52 club. Jamie Angevine, who wrote a story for, it was the Rory Story Cubes week, and I'm not going to remember what week that was, but we did a prompt from Rory's Story Cube. She wrote a story from those cubes, entered it in a contest, and she did get word back that she has received some honor in that contest, and so it may be some accolades for a story coming out of the prompts here. So would love to hear your success stories. Have you done anything with the stories that you've been writing so far this year? If so, let me know, and I will hand it over to my little screen of all the different places that you can let me know. I'm on Instagram and on Twitter, and of course we have the Stop Writing Alone Facebook group and the Swap 52 Club Facebook group. So I hope to see you out there somewhere. Reach out, chat. This is all about writing community after all, so it is time that we connect. In the meantime, happy writing, and I will see you next week.